In order to effectively operate as a team, you need to know how to leverage your internal resources if you're selling complex sales, or even if you're selling simple sales in the technology space. So it's what I've walked through before is what are your internal resources and how to work towards building trust. This is all about helping you understand what to do to actually leverage them. So you're going to learn what does it mean and what is your seat at the table and how to view yourself. And then what are the 5 steps to take to leverage your resources internally. But a quick recap. This is a part of a 3-part series that I did. This is all about leverage, multiplying your time. If I can get more hours worked on my accounts than I'm physically working, that's a win. And it all comes down to leveraging your resources to do that. In the previous videos, I broke these things down in detail. Who are the resources you have at level 1, as well as level 2, and how to think about them and what is the role within it. But this video is just teaching you how to leverage them. So if you want to take a deeper dive, check out that video. Now, what else I want to recap is the 3 steps towards building trust. Being direct with your counterparts. Number 2, asking them what matters to them. And number 3, going out of your way to help them. I talked about that in greater depth in a previous video if you want to check that out. But this is just a quick recap because this video builds on all of that to bring it home. So your resources and understanding your seat at the table. What does this mean? Well, as you can see, this is a giant spider web. You have a lot of people that you work with, and you're at the center of the attention. You're the one that owns the account. And the way I want you to think about yourself is, you're a field general. You're the quarterback. You're the one that puts people in the right places to make sure that everyone's being set up for success so that you can then be set up for success. Quarterback's a great analogy because if you think about what a quarterback does, they have to understand how the offensive line operates, how the tight end, running back, wide receivers, the different routes that they're running, different coverages that they're going against for the defense. And they're the one that has to read it, make calls, and make adjustments on the fly so everyone around them can effectively do their job. That's why they are the field general in sports. Like, it's true leadership. So I want you to think about yourself as a quarterback, as a field general, more importantly, as a leader, because that's what you are, whether you like it or not. You are a leader in these deals. So you have to internalize that and own it. So what are the 5 steps to effectively leading your team of resources to help you get these deals across the finish line? So number 1, you need to identify. So what's needed to help you achieve the desired outcome and when? So what I mean by this is what has to happen. We have an outcome, whether it's closing a deal, crushing a demo, crushing an onsite, whatever it is. Figure out what it is and then what you need to help achieve that. That's your job to figure that out. And then a pro tip for you, it's always good to whiteboard these things out with a peer or a manager to help collaborate and get the strategy around the different things you're trying to work towards. So that's number 1. You have to identify. Number 2, you have to assign. As the field general, as the quarterback, you have to assign who owns what aspect of the task at hand. If we're prepping for an onsite, you have to help them understand their role in it. Because if you're not clear with them, as the field general, vague direction gets vague results. So pro tip for you, be very specific on what is needed. So here's a vague way to prep for an onsite. Hey, we got a big meeting with the C-suite at Motorola. So just make sure you have your ducks in a row and, have a good feel for like the demo flow, how we're going to talk to them and what your role is. But that's very very, very vague. And that's not really going to help me execute. So to take that a layer deeper, to be a little bit more specific, you're going to make my life easier. So another example is, hey, we have an onsite, Thursday at 4 p.m. with the CEO, CFO, CMO, and COO of Motorola. Okay. What I need you to do to make sure you're prepared for that, here's the earnings call that they just released. I want you to take a look at this and study their top initiatives. And if you could take a look at the financials, that would be ideal because I want to put together a point of view and review the strategy around that point of view on Tuesday because our onsite's Thursday to make sure we have our ducks in a row and can effectively make sure each person has their roles and what they're communicating in the meeting aligned. Notice the difference of how specific I am in the second answer, right? So be specific and it's going to help people know what they have to do. So building on that, black and white expectations that I just outlined for the timelines of everyone associated. So the example that I gave pretty much speaks to this already. verbally review this with them and make sure they're bought in. So building on that Motorola example, hey, this is what's needed. Are you cool with this? Can you commit to this? Can you commit to being ready by Tuesday when we do that strategy call? And then once they verbally agree, after you wrap up, if you're having this conversation on a Zoom call or in person, just send a quick Slack or an email out. Hey, Paul owns this. Michael owns this. Susan owns this. And this is what we're doing on Tuesday. Let's make sure everyone's ready. Because everyone agreed to it. Let's make sure everyone's aligned. There's no miscommunication around what expectations are. Next is review. Review what's happening and make sure everything is on track. Different people are going to be handling different parts. You're spinning plates here. You're juggling a lot of responsibilities. If I'm a sales engineer, I'm only working on one aspect of this deal. If I'm your manager, I'm only going to be looking at it from a different aspect of this deal. If I'm your sales operations person, I'm going to be looking at maybe the discounts or the deal structure around this deal. Everyone's doing different things. So it's your responsibility, once you assign and outline what everyone needs to do, that you review and check in on people regularly to make sure everyone's on track. Keep in mind, if you're the owner of this account, no one's going to care about this account more than you do. So that's the harsh truth. So by you checking in on people, making sure they're on track, but not just saying, is this done yet? But also saying, hey, is there anything you need? Anything I can do to support you? That's going to go a long way to help make sure everyone does their part so that you can effectively execute as a team. And then last but not least, my favorite part, recognize greatness when you witness it. People are going to work hard for you to try to deliver. And even if the outcome isn't the desired outcome that you want, praise the behavior that you see. If they put a lot of hours into this and they genuinely did a great job, praise them for it. You're going to make their day. Everyone anchors all of their praise and shout outs to the outcomes. But what ultimately matters is us doing what's 100% in our control. So make sure you're doing that. And I recommend a phone call. It's way more effective than a Slack. But if you can give people praise in front of their peers or in front of their team, they love that as well, especially their boss. And then another pro tip, when you're giving recognition, be thoughtful. Don't just say, great job on the call. Say, hey, I really want to let you know how much I appreciate how much effort you put into that call. It was a big meeting with a lot of executives, and we had a lot riding on it. And I know you put dozens of hours to make sure we're ready. And even though we didn't get the outcome that we wanted, I want to let you know I'm extremely grateful to have you on my team. You're going to make their day if you do that. So be thoughtful and speak from the heart and be authentic. Don't be fake when you're giving people recognition. So I hope that's helpful. Justin J. Johnson. I run Beautiful Savage Sales Academy. Use this, implement it, go burn it down.